Hi there, I'm Luke Homan, and today I want to talk to you about what is my Chapter 13 payment going to be? For most people, this is the single most important part of Chapter 13. Every single month while you're in Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you are going to make a payment to the Chapter 13 trustee. That's going to be for a specific amount, and that amount is going to be different for every single person, for every single case. Now, don't let an attorney tell you, oh, we can't figure that out. Oh, the judge will just tell us someday. The trustee will tell us, and we don't even know. That's not true. It's just math. So let's start at the end. When we have a successful Chapter 13 case, we are going to get an order of confirmation. It's an order written out and signed by the bankruptcy judge confirming your Chapter 13 plan. And in that confirmation order, it is going to say this much money each month. Maybe it's $1,200, $205. This amount each month is going to be paid to the Chapter 13 trustee. All right, where does that number come from? Well, let's back up. Before we file the case, we have a consultation. And in the consultation, we can start taking some good steps to estimate what that payment's going to be, because it's all math. So let's talk about what goes into that payment. The first thing that goes into that payment are priority debts. These are debts that have to get paid to the government, and you're going to be paying all of them. This is usually tax debt to the IRS and tax debt to the tax commission, new tax debt. The next thing that's going to get paid in your Chapter 13 plan is your secured debts. This is usually your car and your house. And these get paid with interest. But as we've talked about in other videos, we can actually adjust that interest rate sometimes using a court case called TIL, but they're still going to get interest. Then we're also going to be paying some, maybe, of your unsecured debts. This one can be a little tricky to figure out. There's a complex formula. In some bankruptcy cases, we're not paying any of the unsecured debts. In other bankruptcy cases, we're paying some or all of the unsecured debts. We'll figure that out in a minute. We're also going to be paying a little bit of money to your attorney. Think of this kind of like a contingency fee. Your attorney is going to say, all right, I need a little bit of money to file your case. And then if your case is successfully confirmed by the judge, some additional money is going to get paid to your bankruptcy attorney out of that Chapter 13 payment. It's usually $2,000 or $3,000 spread out over the course of 60 months. Doesn't add up to a lot, but it's there to provide the attorney an incentive to be successful in your case. That's how the court sets it up. Also, the Chapter 13 trustee is going to get paid a little bit of money for handling your Chapter 13 case. As a fun fact, all of the Chapter 13 office personnel are actually funded by Chapter 13 clients. So it's a pay-as-you-go system, but the amount of money that we can save more than makes up for that sort of handling fee. So as a math equation, we take your priority debts, your secured debts plus interest, your unsecured debts, we give a little bit of money to the attorney, we give a little bit of money to the trustee, and then we get a total. Now that total is the amount that you're going to pay in over the life of your bankruptcy. We take that full amount, divide it by 60 months, and that's how we get our rough estimate of your Chapter 13 plan payment. Now, as a practical matter, in the consultation, we don't have perfect information. We don't know whether your debts are $20,000 or $15,000, but we're going to take a rough guess. Then, as we prep your bankruptcy, we're going to be a lot closer. Maybe now we're more certain that it's $16,000. But we still don't know for sure until we file the case. And then when we file the case and all the creditors get notice, they file paperwork with the bankruptcy court saying, okay, this is what the actual number is. So now we're continuing to refine it. So now maybe instead of $16,000, it's $15,500. Still pretty close to what we were thinking in the consultation, but as we get more and more refinement, we're going to get more accurate. And then eventually, once we've satisfied the Chapter 13 trustee, the creditors, and the judge, we'll get that confirmation order and we'll know exactly what that amount's going to be. But it's all the same math formula. We're adding up your debts. We're multiplying them. We're giving certain weight to your unsecured debts depending on your case factors. And then you can also be making decisions. All right, if that plan payment sounds too high, maybe I don't want to keep 3 cars. All right, if we take out 3 cars, that changes our math equation. So really, at a high level, this is how your Chapter 13 plan payment is determined. It's just a math equation, and if you need to change some of those numbers, maybe we change how we're treating some of those secured debts. So, talk to your attorney, work through these numbers, but you're not expected to do the math yourself. We've got a team, we've got spreadsheets, and we can also just use a pad and paper to show you how it works. Because at the end of the day, bankruptcy, it's just lawyering with math. All right, folks, that's all I've got for today.